Dear all, it's a pleasure to send you my greetings and wishes for a successful conference. As much as 90% of Norway's import and export volumes are transported by sea. This means that sea transport and ports are extremely important to Norway. European ports are vital for the transportation of goods between Norway and other European countries. They are also important feeder ports for overseas goods that are transported between Norway and markets outside Europe. Transportation is a big cost factor for Norwegian industries and businesses. Well-functioning and efficient ports and maritime transport are therefore essential to trade and industry. We believe that better accessibility to the markets and reduced distance cost will improve our possibility to compete. This will in turn contribute to economic development and growth. As you know, transport activities cause accident, noise, traffic jam, local pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, and infrastructure damage, which are all external costs. In general, the external costs per unit of maritime transport are much lower than the external costs per unit of road transport. More goods transported at sea and not on the road will therefore lead to reduction of CO2 emissions and other external costs from transport. This will benefit the environment and the society. In order to encourage this shift of goods from road to sea, the government introduced an incentive scheme from short sea shipping in 2017. So far, 8 new sea transport routes have been established. Each project removes trucks from Norwegian roads and has benefits for the environment and the society. Ports are a vital part of logistics chain. In 2019, the government introduced an aid scheme for investments in port infrastructure. The goal is to promote efficient and environment-friendly ports and logistic chains. Aid has been awarded to 10 projects, including investments in smart gate systems. The benefits in terms of time saving for trucks and ships have been significant. In addition, we have recently improved our rules on ports and fairways. Our goal is to make sure we are competitive when it comes to sea transport. Norway supports EU's ambitious goals for the transport sector, outlined in the Green Deal. Europe should take the global lead to reduce climate gas emissions from transport. We are eager to contribute with our experiences. Norway is committed to achieving its emissions reductions target under the Paris Agreement. In January, we presented a white paper, the Climate Action Plan 2030. It describes how Norway will achieve its climate targets and at the same time create green growth. We have a binding commitment for non-ETS emissions from the EU, 40% reduction in 2030. But with the action plan, Norway will achieve the government's ambitions, that is 45% reduction. We aim to achieve this through domestic emissions cuts. There are many policy instruments in the Climate Action Plan, from taxation of greenhouse gas emissions to financial support for the development of new technology. The maritime sector will be subject to several of these policy measures. Apply criteria on zero and low emissions technologies when procuring ferry services. Later, we want to apply this also for high-speed passenger vessel services. Requirements for zero and low emission solutions for aquaculture services vessels. According to the plan, this will be introduced step by step from 2024 onwards. The government plans to introduce a biofuel quota obligation for shipping. The plan is to introduce this from 2022. The biofuel should be sustainable. And investment support from Enova for low and zero emission vessels. This includes infrastructure where needed. These measures are our key to achieving the ambition to reduce emission from domestic shipping and fisheries by half by 2030. The government firmly believes in technology neutrality when it comes to promoting zero and low emission solutions. Electricity, hydrogen, ammonia, sustainable biofuels, or combinations of these energy sources are all possible solutions. For example, we have successfully applied electricity as an energy source in many of our road ferries. However, we are now planning to try out hydrogen on ferries where batteries are not at good solutions. The push for low and zero emissions technology and the use of sustainable biofuels will, in my opinion, create new market opportunities. It is clear that green shipping demands green solution also onshore. For harbors, we need a well-planned adaptation in order to deliver services and energy supply for vessels that use new technologies. It is very important in order to support this development. When the ports invest in onshore power, they may receive support from Enova. Enova is a state enterprise owned by the Ministry of Climate and Environment. Enova helps overcoming market barriers that are hindering the introduction of energy and climate-efficient technologies and solutions. In the maritime sector, Enova supports onshore power projects in ports, battery projects for ships, and infrastructure to electrify ferry connections. Since 2015, Enova has awarded a total of 700 million Norwegian crowns to 100 onshore power projects in several Norwegian ports. The goal is to create a market for onshore power that is working. That will make it a routine for ships to use onshore power when they are in ports. Ports in Norway are owned by private companies or municipalities. The new Norwegian Harbour Act allows municipalities and ports to charge different prices and fees according to the customer's environmental performance. This may stimulate ships to use onshore power. Many Norwegian municipalities and ports know to do this, and they use an environmental index. We know that many ports in Norway and in other European countries are very ambitious when it comes to the environment. They put in a lot of work to achieve reductions in CO2 emissions and local pollution. The Port of Oslo is one example. They have an ambition to cut CO2 emissions by 85% within 2030. In the long run, they want to turn into a zero-emission port. The port has already started to use onshore power for several kinds of ships. They also use electric work cars and trucks. This makes me very optimistic about the future, especially when it comes to achieving the ambition goals for green transition into the transport sector. I would like to wish you good luck for the conference and the work you do to promote efficient, safe and environmentally friendly ports and sea transport. Thank you very much.